This week, we're diving back into The Weary Afterdawn, which is the 13th chapter for Season 1. I've worked with my audio artist Zoran to infuse this chapter with more magic, more wonder, and more incredible artistry, and along the way, we're taking a look back at the Seventh Valkyrie journey as we make our way towards Season 3. Welcome to the Seventh Valkyrie Listen Along. Let's rock and roll. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seventh Valkyrie Listen Along. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the Seventh Valkyrie. If you're a new listener coming to the series for the first time, welcome. And if you're a grizzled hero of Edera, it's awesome to have you back. In today's episode, we talk about The Weary Afterdawn, which is chapter 13 of season 1. And spoilers, if you haven't listened to that. But let's start inside the episode. So this is our first Pores POV, and we get a glimpse into kind of how the average person in the old city deals with the rhythm of daily life. Even as they're summoned to a gathering of the most dangerous criminal syndicates on the continent, it's just part of the daily protocol. Pores grabs BC from the Garden of Stars. They attend the meeting. Business goes as usual, except for the fact that they've learned that the Machine King's in the city and the four families kind of have their hackles up. Pores probes BC for more info, and she reminds him that yes, they are still surrounded by killers that they should be careful of. And she offers to join him on a walk where we see firsthand the concern that the rank and file of the old city are feeling, and we also get a little bit of a glimpse into the target that has been painted on BC's back. But that's all tossed to the side when BC and Pores find Straina tending to Val. Straina gets scared, pieces out, and we're left with BC and Val's very first interaction, which is about as hostile and threatening as you'd expect. But ultimately, BC reasons that he's just an Edoran and not as big of an issue as the Machine King. Though, as we may learn, that just kind of depends on who you're working for. The bigger threat between Val or Krona. Anyway, and that's what happens inside the episode. Now let's take a step outside. And speaking of taking a step outside, you'll notice I do spend a lot of time in this series looking at our core characters from the outside. And that's intentional. I think through others, you get a picture of them that they would never share or could never share themselves. And you see their impact on the world around them. And that continues throughout this, especially through the end of season 1 and into the seasons to come. Another thing about that I will mention about this particular batch of reimaginings is that in the quiet moments of interaction, the sound design requires such a deft touch, but can make such a difference. I can describe the scene for you at the beginning, like when Pores walks into the Garden of Stars. But when you're listening to a couple of minutes of conversation without that sound design, unless you are kind of actively imagining, it takes a lot of energy to kind of keep the context in your mind and not have it just be two faceless voices. But having it real and having these moments that continuously ground you in that space does so much for the way that we tell that story. Yeah. Anyway, if you're itching to get ahead, you are not alone, and you can do that two ways. You can listen to the episodes as they were released right now today for free. Or if you'd like to experience the full magic of the series, you can join us on Patreon as a hero of Edera and get exclusive access to the Season 1 reimagining weeks before it hits the public. Choice is yours. We're just glad to have you along for the ride as we journey towards Season 3. Love you all. Talk soon.